Hi, this lecture is about perception. Perception is the organization, identification, and interpretation of the sensory information in order to present and understand the environment. So, the sensory modality can describe as a light modality, how the eyes can see the light, smell modality, and pressure modality, temperature modality, taste modality, sound modality. If you have a mixture between light modality or other combined 2 or 3 modality, you can call it multimodal perception. So the sensory modality is the first thing that it's like a sensor that can take the information from the outside to the brain. And you can see this example of the view on the left visual field and the light visual field. You can see on the square of the image that has a house and tree, and on the left side and on right side of eyeball. On the right side of eyeball, you can see like this image, and on the left side you can see this image. So the eyeball can take two of the purple one and the green one, the same thing on the left or on the right, and then they convert information into the back, and then you can see that it's an indicate image of combining between this and this. So it's going to be the reward views of the existing one. So this one called the sensory coding, that is come from the physical stimulus into the neural activity. So the eyes, eyeball send information go to the visual area of thalamus, and then go to the back of the brain for the interpretation. So this one called the visual cortex. It's on the side view or lateral view of the brain, and it's on the top view. If you see this figure, you can see that it's a beautiful image because the hair, the face, the eye. But you see anything different. Maybe we need to rotate. This a beautiful girl or not. When you rotate, okay, you can see that the family eye and the nose is not the same. So what happened when you see something beauty and it's coming something is not really beauty? The sensation is the bottom up process by our sense like the vision, hearing, and smell, receive and relay outside the stimuli. So the bottom up process is like a sense of sensing, and the bottom up process. The example you can see from this face, and you looking at the nose. So if you separate the component of head, could be eyebrow, eye, nose. It could be the C bump, C. Just look at C bump, hook, or pointer. So you select only part, but the top-down way of the brain is organized and interpret the information and put into the context. So the same image, instead of you see the C shape, and you see and interpret as an eye, chin, lower lip, and upper lip. So this one called the top-down process rather than the bottom-up process. So you can attach the meaning, see the thing as a whole, heuristic thing, not just a small part, and you cannot attach the semantic meaning on it. Another one of the law is called Gestalt law of the perceptual organization. An example like a figure and gown, proximity, similarity, continuity, and culture. So what you see in this one is a figure and gown of a boy. And can you see anything else? You can see that if I put the shadow over here, you can see, okay, it's still nothing. But if I put more, you can see that they have it's a waist in the center one. So this one, the background is going to be the figure instead of the back one, will be the figure. The same thing when you see the traffic signage, like the Idaho is one of state in United States, and you can see that this the head and this is a nose of the man. So this one depend on how you see is between the figure and cow. This is another example of the proximity. What did you see? Is a T group of line, or it's about 6 line, or it's about T column. If you can see that if it's close to anything, you can start to do the grouping. So this is another example of the proximity. If I have the a cockpit gauge, and then you can see that it's a group, the same one of the same group, A, B, and you can see that there's a 2 group because they have the proximity between space between 2, and this one close together. Number C, and you can see that it's separate into 3 group. This one 2 group, and number D 2 group in horizontal line. So the proximity is a way that we can use a space for grouping the object to make a meaning of it. This one called similarity, and you can see that this is going to be the column, and this one going to be row. So the example, because the shape of the object is the same, so you use a similarity for the grouping. It could be a shape of something. This is an example, another example of a way of grouping by using a culture. They have to lay a square in the center one. It's like we grouping by it's a panda. Like you see that your eye is grouping by itself. Look like animal, the shape. So it's culture, even though you not put the line over here. It's a continuity of the shape of half circle. Now you can see that the flow of half circle, so it's clear the continuity. We can use the continuity in many things, like the advertising, like the Beatles album that people are walking, or you can see in the color of the shoe on the toe, and you can use for the graphic design the continuity of the bubble, and you can use for the video game design the continuity of the tie and that you put on, like leather, and this one is leather down. Symmetry, you can see that it's a center half, left and right is equal. You can apply this principle for the cockpit control room, or cockpit control, that you can put the symmetry of the graphic on left and right side. The display design, there are several physical tools and variables that display designer may manipulation, like location between X and Y, the motion, how its movement, the intensity, like brightness, and visual and auditory modality, how you hear, or how it should be here or it should be see, or color, dimensionality, like perspective. So when we compare to the quantity, you can do several ways. For example, the linear extend without the baseline, so you can compare this one is longer than this one, and if you put the baseline, common baseline. It's better, it's more clearer, easy to see. And this one compare between line of lengths with a single axis. And this one compare the area, the small one and the big one. And this one is comparison between the volume, the small volume and the big volume. This one comparison of the hue, the green and the blue. Comparison of the area, small area and big area. And comparison of the angle, like the shape in the pie chart. This is another example of how we represent something. For example, the bar chart you can use to compare between the quantity of each product. Another chart is a pie chart, and you can compare between them, and you can see this one can capture attention easier than this one. You can see the whole picture quite quick. The area chart, you can see the 10 lines like this. Area chart of the yellow is going high, and the blue is down. So the next is about pictorial reality. The pictorial reality is something is about the mental model, and this question which one is a pictorial reality? How it's linked to the real world? If you see the plane like this, and the airspace goes straight, but this one is rotating, so it's not really pictorial reality. And this one turn side indicator, maybe not 100%, because you cannot turn 360 like this. But how about this one, the airplane altimeter, the altitude between plane and ground? Why is not the reality is this, but the gate is different? The same thing, this one. But if you want to make it more pictorial reality, like the airplane like this, so when it's tilt, the airplane, this one should be tilt, the line could be tilt, and when this move, the angle, so this one could be moved. So the B is a pictorial reality. Depth perception. There is experimental by Edna J. Gibson in 1960, and she talking about visual cave experiment, how the baby looking on the perspective. So he put the glasses on the top, and then the same cross match on the chest match on the top and the bottom, and the mother here, and then we want to see that the baby can feel the depth of the perspective or not.
In this study, babies between 9 and 12 months are brought into the lab and placed on a large plexiglass top table. Half of the table has a checkerboard pattern just underneath the surface, but halfway across is a visual cliff, which the baby can tell drops off steeply. The plexiglass top continues, so it's perfectly fine to proceed. But the baby isn't so sure, and this is a big drop for a baby just starting to crawl. She wants to get across to get the toy, but she's cautious and looks to the opposite end of the table where her mother is.
The visual field by Gibson, she's talking about the environment that contain a variety of clues that describe what is outside the world in 1979, and you can see that is the line of eyesight, and this is a pole that the size is the same, but when you're looking at the perspective, it's going to be this one is more closer than this one. This one longer. So this one is closer, and this one is far away. So this is the example of three-dimensional and depth. It's called the object center clue. So this aerial perspective, you can see the mountain in the back. So it shows the more distant object is less clearly defined. And you can see the linear perspective, like this line of the load. So you can see the converging of the lines hit this one together, and interposition the object of the building. Now you can see that this object is farther than this one. The higher object is close to you, and the less is longer. It's far to you. The light and shadow. So this offer the object orientation relative of the object to the visual. Assume that is a farther away as well between this and this. The texture gradient. So it's more go finer, more greater the distance if you more have flying. And the motion parallax, the object closer to us show the greater relative motion. For example, if the car is moving, the background is move as well, but it's moved relative to the object. This example of the parallax. You can see that the closer to us, the closer to us is move faster than the background.